Hello, I'm Lee.
And I'm Wally.
And this is Summer. And we are Three for the Road RV. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. For the next few videos, Wally may or may not be on here with me, as he is doing a temp job at this time, and his hours are pretty crazy. But I thought I would take just a few moments to kind of explain our decision on our RV life. About 15 years ago, we started wondering about retirement. We're in our 50s and we absolutely have nothing to show for it. Wally has a degenerative eye condition that is called macular telangiectasis, and it is a condition in the retina, and so there's no cure. And if we had not had it discovered, he could have gone blind. So as it turns out, he is legally blind in one eye and really can't see much out of the other. And so that's kind of affected his job situations over the years and made it to where we were ending up having to use our 401k and other savings just to take care of his doctor bills and to tide us over in between jobs. So that leaves us with basically nothing in the bank. So then we started thinking, well, what can we do? And our love for camping and travel was kind of talked about a lot, and we got to thinking, well, how would it be to be able to have our own RV park? And we didn't know if we wanted to have a all year round thing or just seasonal so we could still do our own traveling. And so we just knew that that was becoming kind of a really desirable plan for us, but not knowing how to go about it was the next issue. So then we got to thinking, well, maybe we can call these RV parks around and talk to the owners and see if they would let us come and stay with them and kind of follow them around and see exactly what their lifestyle is like and if they're happy with their decision to do this kind of thing and what they would do differently. And in the meantime, I had been Googling around on YouTube and discovered the RV full-time community. Had never even heard of such a concept, and it really piqued our interest. And I started watching a few favorite channels and just really getting more and more intrigued by the whole process. And then going along the way, saw that there was such thing called work camping. Now that opened up a whole new world. Could not believe that people actually will pay RVers to come and work for them for a season or two or a few months or what have you, and be able to earn money on the road. So, and then even pay for your parking spot and some utilities and what, just depending on what the job entailed. And that was even more intriguing because that was one of our biggest fears, was if we're going to go and travel and with no savings, how would we be able to afford it? So this was getting more and more desirable every day. So with Wally's eye condition and the fact that he hadn't been able to keep a job because of it, we decided, let's just sell the house and pay cash up front for the RV, move into it, and just see what happens next. So last January, so it's been almost exactly a year now, we sold the house, bought this RV for cash, and we got a really great deal on it because it had some water damage on the slide to where there was even a pole in the middle of it holding the ceiling up. So we gutted the whole entire slide out, started from scratch, re-insulated, redid the woodwork, and then we got to thinking, well, gee, I need some more storage. So Wally built the shelves that you can see back there behind me to hold the toaster oven and baking goods and that kind of thing. We got the toaster oven mainly because the stove works fine, but the oven scares me. It's one of those types of situations to where you have to get your little lighter clicker inside there to turn it on, and then the knob is so finicky that you have to sit there and jiggle it, trying to find just the right sweet spot to get the flame to ignite in the first place. Then when you want to turn it off, you cannot leave the pilot light on. At least in my opinion, you're not supposed to, and they told us when we bought the trailer that this kind of stove you really shouldn't anyway. So to turn the pilot light back off was having to jiggle the knob just so to be able to try and get it to go off, and it never really would. The only way we could get the pilot light to go completely out was to go outside and turn off the propane tank and let it bleed out. And so it just made me too nervous to even use the thing. So we went and got us a toaster oven, and that's what we're using for our baking. So anyway, back to the slide. We gutted the whole thing, like I said, rebuilt it, re-insulated it, put some beadboard type paneling up on the ceiling, and did the trim all the way around it with the beadboard stuff as well. We still need to do some more trim around the shelves, as you can see, and we rebuilt the bench, and I'll be showing you pictures of that later on. So that's kind of where we stand at then. So by the time we were making all these decisions, our youngest had moved out, and so we were empty nesters for about 3 whole months. And then we had a tragedy happen to where our middle daughter ended up getting killed in a car accident with her fiance, and their 1-year-old baby was with them, and all 3 of them were ejected out of the vehicle. And so my daughter and fiance were killed instantly, and the baby miraculously survived. We don't know how, except it had to be angels, because all she had was a little bit of road rash on her. The accident was witnessed, so people stopped immediately and were able to help with the situation, so the baby wasn't by herself alone on a highway at 1 o'clock in the morning. But we just couldn't believe that she didn't have any more injuries to her. She was not in her car seat. We have figured that she must have been pitching a royal conniption fit, because they had taken a trip from Utah to California in a whirlwind trip to where they went straight there, dropped a friend off at work, and turned around and was coming straight back home. So this little tiny baby stuck in a vehicle that long was probably sick and tired of her car seat. And my daughter was impatient, is all we can think of, and decided fine, she'll just hold her. And what ended up happening was Ricky fell asleep at the wheel and rolled the vehicle several times. It was pretty tragic and sad. But Summer, that's who we have with us, is now part of our lives. We adopted her officially in February. So she is legally and lawfully ours and the joy of our life. And we just thank God every day for the miracle that kept her here with us. And so our empty nest situation was only 3 months long. And now we're starting over as parents again, which is really kind of interesting, because when we had our oldest daughter, she was about 12 years old when we decided that we were going to go into the foster care program, because we couldn't conceive again. And we were able to get 2 sisters into our home, who we eventually adopted. And so they were 4 and 2 at the time. And so needless to say, the next 20 years was pretty hellish and back, because of all the neglect and abuse that they had in their life. we were in therapy all the time. We got to know the local authorities on a first name basis. The school system knew all about us. It was quite the adventure, I guess you could say, having these two beautiful girls with such a hellish life that they had before they came to us, and kind of made our life interesting. So that's where we are now, is now we have Summer in our life, and she is 4 years old now, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So we've decided to take the next year to get the trailer ready to hit the road, with a few projects that we still want to do, and make sure it's travel worthy, hopefully in a timely manner. We will take you on the journey and the different projects that we will be doing, and hopefully you'll join us. And we love the opportunity to be able to meet you someday, and to be able to join this wonderful RV community that we have been learning so much about. And if you have any suggestions or ideas or just well wishes for us, we would love to hear from you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.